All right, I think I'm recording. There we go. All right, we're working. All right, welcome everybody. It's January 2nd. See, we've got somebody on the second here. I'm Tara Truax. This is our first leadership call for the movement. You'll see the movement is Mike and I's new team page, what we've been working, some stuff we've been creating for you guys, which we're really excited about, and for our community and what we're doing here. But also, this is our leadership call. So once a month, the first Thursday of every single month at 9:30 Eastern time, we're going to do our leadership call. Traditionally, this is going to be executive and above leadership. And if you guys could just mute, please, that'd be cool. Thanks. Executive and above leadership, so that we can kind of talk a little bit about some bigger strategies than simply just our 2 and our 3 customers and then our 2 to get to executive. We're going to work a little bit more on goal setting and moving into 2020 today. But I want you guys to make sure you put this on your calendar every single Thursday, first Thursday of the month. Okay, only that. We really want you guys to be focusing on, in general, your IPA time, the time you're not maybe at your regular jobs or with your kids or doing whatever the other things you are doing in your life, that the time that you're dedicated to your Q time is that IPA time. That is income producing time. Income producing time is not on a call, you guys. Income producing time is the time where you're reaching out, you're having conversations with people, you're in 3-way messages with people, you're at events, you're meeting people for lunch and coffee, and you're talking about Q, presenting the opportunity. Those are going to be income producing time. And I just don't want you guys on calls during that time. So I want to really keep this short. And I did mention in the live the other day that let's try to keep you guys all muted. What we want you guys to be able to do is, sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm like squirrel all over the place. What we want you guys to be able to do is we'll do lives and trainings in the Facebook page so that you can go in and you can watch them, maybe like me, if you're up at like 1:30 in the morning where everyone else is sleeping. That's obviously, I can't go reach out to somebody. I can't be messaging people at 1:30 in the morning unless they're in Australia or something, which is totally fine. But that is the time that I can go back and watch something and work on my own self-development. I want you guys to work on finding time that's not income-producing time to be doing that, but so that you're still developing and growing, but that you are using the time wisely when people are available to have those conversations, okay? So that's just a little bit about that. So now, Fran, are you on?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Fran, do you want to talk a little bit about vision boards and, vision and what, yeah, why don't you go for a minute?
Yeah. Okay. So, hey guys, Francesca Fields. Hi, everybody. So one of the things that Tara was talking about that we should all do this month in the movement group, and I've gotten a lot of questions about what vision boards are. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well, is to make a vision board. And something that I've been learning in the training that I've been doing one-on-one with Jenny Bird is that if you don't have a vision and you don't know where you want to go, you're going to be a little lost. And so what vision boards are is, practically speaking, buy a poster board. Like, go to the store, buy a poster board, go to the magazine aisle and look through a bunch of different magazines. Find some magazines and buy them where you see some pictures of things that you like. For me, for example, on my vision board, I have a beach house. Like, I wrote out my 5-year vision and I want to live on the water. I want to live on the beach. So I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to look at coastal magazines of coastal homes, and I'm going to find my dream house. And I have a vision of having enough money in our savings account to where we get to pay for our kids' college. And so I'm going to find something that has a picture that represents being able to pay for our kids' college. And I have a vision of taking the most amazing family vacation. And so I'm going to find a picture of a vacation that I have in my mind, a vision of a vacation that I have for our family. And does that make sense? Like, we all have a different vision for what we want for our life. And it doesn't matter how extreme it is. It doesn't matter how unrealistic it seems. This is truly whatever your vision is, whatever the hope you have for your future and for your life is, that's perfect. And that's great. And that's what you want to put on your vision board. And it's just basically a visual representation of something that you can look at often. So it's something that you don't want to make, put all these pictures on a board and then put it away where you don't see it. It's something that you want to see often. Put it in your office, put it in your workspace, put it in your closet. If, you spend a lot of time in your closet, put it somewhere that you're going to see it daily. So that you keep, somebody's laughing about the closet. I don't know why I said that. Somewhere, I don't know, your laundry room. Maybe you'll spend more time in there. That's where I need to put it. Somewhere that you're going to see it often so that you have a clear picture of where you want to go. Because if you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're working for and you don't know what you're doing. And when things come up that are hard, and when things come up that want to derail you, it's going to be a lot easier to get distracted and to get derailed if you don't have a clear vision of where you want to be. So I know I was like all over the place because I didn't know I was going first, but.
No, that was great. And I know I totally put you on the spot. That is all my bad.
No, that's okay.
So here's my vision board from last year. And you guys, I put mine in a shadow box because I actually hang in. I want it to look pretty. I actually bought Mike like a real rustic shadow box this year so it looks good in his office because he's never done one before. He's doing it too. This is mine last year. Now you're going to see my light. But if you can kind of see, I put it all together, but I always have a word. And the center of my word, my whole board goes around my word. So 2019 was all about shine. 2018, the year before, was about joy. Now, what's really cool is what I do is when I set that intention for your word, and I know I've seen a lot of you guys post about this, and this is really cool, but some of you still don't know your word. You cannot force your word. I'm telling you right now, you don't just get to pick a word and say, oh, I think it's that. When you get your word, it's so deep in your core, like you get goosebumps for it. I was helping someone with their word the other day. Once we really got it, it was like, oh, that's their word. And suddenly everything just made sense. This year, for me, my word is visionary. Last year, my word was shine. When I'm making choices for that year, I literally ask myself, does this allow me to shine this year? Does this allow me to be a visionary? Is this visionary? If it's not, then it's not in alignment with the vision I'm working on creating right now, and I will make a different choice. The year before, does this bring me joy? Is this joy? Is this in alignment with joy? It actually allows you to make decisions more in truth with who your authentic self is and what you want to create. So, some of you, I know some of you on here are learning to meditate, which you can get your word. That's where I got mine, doing breath work. Some of you are learning different ways of journaling, different things like that. Or anything where you can quiet. Some of you can do it through prayer. Whatever works for you, it's going to be different for each one of you, how you get your word. I didn't know mine until, again, I do a type of breath work, and in that breath work, the word came. So I prior to that, I thought my word, I was just going to use the same word as last year, even though I knew it wasn't quite right. I didn't have a word. Now, somebody asked, is your vision board for 5 years out? No, we write our vision statement for 5 years out. So our vision statement is what we do, and Michael testify because he read mine, but nobody has to read this. You spend about 20 minutes and you sit in quiet. And you write what you can do it for New Year's Day, or you can do it for your birthday. I did mine for my birthday. I do it on your birthday, 5 years from that day. When you wake up, what does your life look like? If you had the ideal world in your ideal life, what does your life look like 5 years from now on your birthday? How old are you that day? How old are your children? How old are your husband? Where do you live? What do you experience? What do you see? What do you breathe? What do you touch? What do you eat? What organizations do you go to? So I wrote mine out, and I wake up on I wrote it a while ago because it would be a little old now, but I wake up on my 5 years from that day, and I would be 44 years old. And I wake up to my house on an island in the Bahamas, and I step out overlooking the water, and I sit down with my computer to start writing my second book. Okay, we're going to talk just about real here. I don't own a house in the Bahamas. I haven't even written my first book, okay? But see, what that does is when your vision, putting energy out 5 years out, it actually puts things into action now. Well, in 5 years, if I want to be working on my second book, guess what I better start be doing now, right? When I was working with my coach on this, we were talking, she said, my vision 5 years from now had me with my kids, I've always said I want to do this renovation in the house so the kids can enjoy it. When I did it 5 years out, I realized the kids were going to be out of the house. Uh-oh, I better get things into alignment to get that renovation in place so that we can create what we want. So 5 years from now, it's there. Does that kind of make sense? So that living vision, nobody has to know, nobody has to see it, nobody has to read it. Now, when Mike read mine, because I decided to share it with him, he said, I really feel like I can see this. Like I could see it happening, like he felt it. Because it was just like, it just came. There's a really, really strong belief that if you can envision it in your head, you can create it in your life. It is put there for a reason. But you have to be able to envision that. Okay? And so that's what that does. Now, on easy days, guys, that not to say that vision doesn't matter, but on easy days, things are easy. It's when things are hard. It's on the hard days when you don't want to keep moving forward, when stuff happens, because we know we're human, stuff happens. And we can't move forward, or we get really scared, or fear steps in. It's that vision of while we're doing it that will move you to the other side of it. I went through a very hard time a couple months ago, and I literally had to look at, is what I'm going through in my 5-year vision? Is it there 5 years from now? If it's not, it doesn't matter. Remember that, because that is actually what moves you forward, and it will put your energy towards the things that really matter. Your children, your family, whatever it is you want to create. Now, so that's that vision. That's the vision board. I really, 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 you're going to see a post go up. It hasn't gone up yet because I'm waiting for something, but it's going to go up, and you guys can start, as you work on them, drop them in the comments. As you get yours done, you guys drop them in the comments so it can inspire, if you're comfortable, so you can inspire somebody. Now, here's something I put on mine every year, and I hope you guys will do it too. I actually go on Google, and I take a check, a picture of a check, and I just put it in Word, and I type it into myself. And this one's for $1 million. Well, we haven't made quite that this year, but we're going to really get close to it next year. And so every single year I've put a check on. The year before it was 100,000. Then I get bigger. You dream bigger, right? And so actually Adrian Imerall, who with the FFM, if any of him is your coach, he'll talk about that too. He does the same thing. So I encourage you to do that. And I actually don't put who it's from, but I do write in the comments, this or something better. Because who knows, it could be better. So I put that on my vision board every single year. And I do, you guys, if finances is something you do want to manifest, really, really get clear about that. Some of you are too scared to put numbers down because you think you actually have to achieve them. But if you don't put those numbers down, you don't start facing those numbers, you can't create it. Okay. So really, 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 really get clear about that. Okay. So now, other piece before I go into talking about our 90-day stretch goal, because creating in 90-day stretches, which we're going to move into our first quarter of this year, which is really, really, really important, working in 90-day chunks. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But before that, I want to introduce you to Mike. He's our other half here. You're going to start to see him stepping in more and more and more. He's training in the business. He is working and learning the ropes of working in a different way than I do. He's working with Jake and training in a different way, and starting to develop a lot more with the men. And what we want to do with you guys is be able to talk and kind of help some of you guys through the relationship of what happens when you go through him being the primary financial, what am I thinking of? Breadwinner of the family, to the reverse role. And this is he's always been. and the reverse role and how that happens, and then how you can then merge it together so that you can do it together in a way that you can lift each other up and nobody gets their feelings hurt or nobody feels like they're not contributing in a way that is good, because this is not an easy thing to do. To go from where we were, which we were super far in debt. He was the breadwinner that was keeping us afloat, but we had so much debt, okay? And this has been able to move us to the other side of that and beyond. And we laugh now because he's about to get a bonus for work that every year we waited for this bonus. Every single year, as long as he's worked for Sephora, we waited for this bonus. He's about to get the bonus.
It's like a life raft, but it
every
has
year.
a hole in it. So it floats us for a while, but then we get back into this struggle mode. So
yeah, but this bonus that he's about to get, we started laughing because we make more than that monthly now with Q, and it used to be this thing that we couldn't live without. So with that being said, you do grow, you do learn, but I do want to introduce you to Mike. He's going to talk about, he has extensive background in growing teams, building teams, and it's a little bit different in loss prevention, but he's really, really, really well-versed in working with men and working with men and women, coming from his background working in Sephora, which is a heavily women-based company, again, to the male dynamic of where he works through distribution. In all of that and where he's worked in retail and theft and all of that through investigations and interrogations. He has a lot he can bring to the table for our team and working with people and communicating with people and communicating with very, very difficult people as well. So he has a lot he can bring. So Mike, I just want to introduce you, talk a little bit about leadership, talk a little bit about.
Sure. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. What's the etiquette on saying Happy New Year? Like, how many days after New Year's does it start getting weird? Drop it in the comments.
It's the second. Shut up.
I'm gonna keep saying it to people until April. We'll see what happens. So
that's April Fool.
Happy New Year.
Until we all stop writing 2019 on all of our stuff.
That'll probably be April. So in talking about strategy and leadership from a corporate perspective, so I actually began this task before the end of the year, and Tara and I actually did the same thing in a personal life and business for us, in sitting down and talking about where do we want to be in 2020. And so a lot of that is looking at where you've been, where you're at now, and trying to figure out what are your stretch goals for the following year. So I can tell you from a corporate perspective that I can predict where we're going to land by the end of the year, well into probably October-ish. And I can start figuring out where I want to set goals for the following year, because I know that we're going to want to see an improvement. And to make an improvement, you have to start doing things differently. And so in thinking through that process, I also have to look at my team from being a member of senior leadership. I look at what are the skill sets of the folks on my team? What is my skill set? How do we interact together? How do we leverage each other? And how does all of that fit into the goal that we want to achieve for the following year? And so with that, just as important as the goal is how you get there. And a perfect example of that is on a recent drive to Georgia. Our lovely GPS took us on a route that took us 26 hours to drive there, and even driving through a college campus, literally through the campus where you're not supposed to be driving. And so that's one way to get to Georgia. The other way would have been to strategize and literally roadmap it, right? And so that's what we did on the way back, and we ended up making that trip in 11 hours. So quite a difference in between 26 and 11 hours. And had I set goalposts or markers along the way, I probably would have been able to realize that driving 100 miles in 5 hours was probably not going to get us where we needed to go. So I do a lot of that throughout the year. I touch base with each person on my team individually. Each person on my team has a specific personal goal that they've set, and we all work together to achieve the ultimate goal. So everyone's personal goal is in line with what the team wants to do for the year, and they all contribute in their own ways. So just as Tara and I were talking about our strategy for this year, we can't be rowing in different directions if we want to make it to the place that we want to get to. And so you guys will be seeing me quite a bit more. Tara had mentioned that on a Zoom call, I'll be talking about support and how to support your significant other as they embark on this journey so that you can do it together. It really does take a team effort and everyone working together as a family unit to be able to make it to the higher echelons and really achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And the last thing that I'll comment on is with goal setting, if you make it too lofty and end up disappointing yourself, it really isn't going to help you. Not saying you don't make a stretch goal. You obviously make a stretch goal, and that's what you want to do. But thinking that you're going to make a gajillion dollars right out of the gate, I think you might be setting yourself up in a bad way. So make those markers a reachable, attainable goal. Reach out to your leaders and ask for advice. And we are here to support you every step of the way.
There's something that he just talked about with goal setting, and we've been listening to Leader Shift. Some of our higher leaders on here got that book from us for Christmas, the John Maxwell book Leader Shift. If you have not downloaded that, I recommend it. The third law is goals versus growth, and when he talks about that, is goals have an end point. But with growth, we continue to grow and learn and move. We are always growing because the truth is we're either in growth or decline. So if you can even shift your goals to growth, you're actually going to feel even a more positive feeling in your body towards the work that you're doing and less concern about failure. Because failure is only growth. It really is. Because if you're not failing, you're not growing. You're not, period. I can't tell you how many times we failed. And sometimes this year we failed hard. And prior to this year, we failed so hard it would blow your mind.
Falling forward though, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Fall forward. Always. Fall forward.
I got to tell you
Don't
guys.
Fall backwards.
So those of you who are just on my call talking about being a dancer, I even tease my dancers, you actually lift up, and when you're balancing, you close your ribs, and you never want to fall backwards as a dancer, because if you fall backwards as a dancer, you could fall and hit your head and you can't catch yourself. And if you put your hand back, you'll break your wrist. But if you're up and you're closed ribs and you fall forward, all you have to do is put your foot down. So see, if we fall forward, all we got to do is put our foot down and then make an adjustment and then get back up there and do it again. And so that's what we want to be in growth. Yes, we want those markers. Yes, they need to be SMART goals. They need to be measurable. They need to be attainable. They need to be timely, which is now what we're going to talk about, those 90-day stretches. Okay? So from January to March, you guys, if you're on your launch document, you guys see those 90-day goals. I work in that 90-day spot every quarter. And it's because in a 90-day stretch, you will always know your circumstances in general. You're going to know birthdays. You're going to know weddings. You're going to know events. You're going to know if you have to travel. You're going to know corporate events. You're going to know any of those things in that holidays. Did I say that already? In that 90 days. With that being said, it can help you plan and adjust. You know, when your kids may be home, they may be out of school, or like me, and you don't check the calendar and suddenly don't really know why your kids are home from school that day. I need to pay better attention. They were at school today. That's cool.
They made it. All the kids made it to school today.
I don't know where you are, but our kids had to go back today, and I just wasn't ready. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comments. I'm like all over the place. Regardless, in a 90-day stretch, you know your current circumstances. So here's a really perfect example. When I came on, it was 11/28 of last year. It was the holiday season. I had a 7-year-old going through severe behavior health, a 4-year-old, a 15-month-old who was still breastfeeding full-time, and he
a 45-year-old.
You weren't 45 yet, so I don't know what you're even talking about. And a 44-year-old that was traveling almost full-time for work, and we had no childcare. We had extreme debt, and we had Christmas coming. the time was limited. It's not like I could suddenly say, okay, I can work this, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., but my 90-day goal was gold. Now, to set a 90-day goal from the get-go for gold, when most people tell me that, there are very few people that can tell me they're going to do that I could actually believe are going to do it. I was not going to stop. And the reason that was able to happen was because it was a 90-day goal, not a year of this. Because in a year, if I spent literally almost no time talking to him, anytime he was home, he had the kids and I was working. My kids had a commitment that mommy was going to be on her phone way more than normal. All of those things were conversations we had that were really clear and laid out within that 90-day time frame. But at the end of that 90 days, if mommy hit the goal, we would have a reward. I want you to do this. I want you to set small rewards for yourself for hitting that spot. Now, you can do a 90 reward. I still want you to do a 90 block, but you can do a 90 reward. If you feel like you need a smaller reward in there at a 30 or a 60, please do that for yourself, because whatever you need, and if it has to be a reward outside of yourself to make you happy, that's fine. Just don't make it too expensive, because we want to be developing more financial wellness, not creating more debt issues. But whatever that is, but at that 90th day, when we hit it, I had a conversation with Adrian and I said, hey, he said, you can't spend any money. You guys just have to keep paying off what you're paying and doing. And I'm like, okay, but I promised the kids when we hit this that we could go on a Disney cruise. Can I pay for that? And he said, yes, just pay cash. Okay. So we did. That allowed it. One, I had never paid for a vacation cash before, so that was kind of a cool experience. But two, that allowed my kids to have some investment in something. And he said, you have to do that because they're shareholders. So you need to look at your 90 days, what can be sacrificed in that 90 days and what can't be. But you cannot sacrifice the same things for the whole year. See, if we barely talked for a whole year, we wouldn't have a relationship after that year. Okay. So there has to be, you still have to plan in a date night. You still have to plan in, okay, this is when you're not traveling. This is when I'm here. We have to have time for you, each other. You have to have time for your kids. You have to have time for the things that are important in your 5-year vision in your calendar, and they have to be blocked out in your calendar, because if you do not put them in their time, they will not happen. This includes your Q work time. It has to be blocked in your calendar, and it cannot just be blocked in Q for 2 hours. You have to have 30 minutes messaging this person, this person, this person, 30 minutes follow-up, this person, this person, this person. When you're planning your week out, which you should plan your week ahead, I actually plan my day before the day begins. So I actually already did it a little bit earlier for tomorrow. And I work through my whole calendar, and where I have gaps, that's where I put in my follow-up. And I actually put in the names of who I'm following up with then. So if I have 20 minutes, I don't have to spend the first 5 to 6 minutes figuring out who I'm going to talk to. I already know who it is, and so I can get right to work. Those of you with very limited, tight schedules where you're fitting this in a full-time job, etc., you have to do this. You will lose your sanity trying to remember it all in your head. People will fall through the cracks, and you'll say, I'm juggling too many things. We're all juggling the same things. Put it in your book. Put it down. Take control of your schedule, or your schedule will take control of you. But the things that are most important, get the schedule first. If you have a vase and you fill the whole vase with sand first, you will never be able to put golf balls in that vase. You must fill the vase with the golf balls first. That is your important things for your vision. That is your family. That is your self-care. That is if you working out. That is if you need to cook well, or whatever it is that you must do to honor your body and your life and your vision has to be in there. Okay, then the sand can fill it in. Your Q time does matter. That is a ball, but it has to be put in your calendar. Okay, all the little stuff that can be worked on. So that's one thing. Now, when you look at your 90-day goal, I want you to be realistic with the time, resources, and energy you have in the next 90 days. I want you to push your limit, like what Mike said, a stretch goal for 90 days out. So for March 31st, where you want to close at. This does not have to be a rank, you guys. This could be numbers. So you could see growth. So maybe you're elite right now and your 90 is bronze. That means your 30 and your 60 are not going to be promotion months, but you want to see growth. So if you're elite right now and you just hit elite and you're at 4,500 volume, you want to grow. You want to look at, you need to get to 10,000 between two legs minimum. Okay. You want to look at where you feel comfortable volume growth in 30 days and where you feel comfortable in volume growth to 60 days to get you to your goal in 90. But you want to be looking at growth. And then in that growth, what does that mean? How many new people is that bringing on, helping them get care and share and helping them get there too? Going back to the basics. Now I'm going to tell you, we're going to see some shifts in care and share coming at convention. With that, there's going to be some different customer reward programs coming. But that still doesn't mean you're not going to get your two, help them get a few customers and help them get their two. We really want to create a system where people are on auto ships every single month, because with that auto ships coming in where they close out on the 15th now of the month, remember auto ships change the 15th. You guys are going to get a really good overview of your business now on the 15th instead of doing the last minute scramble from the 20th to the end. So you're going to have half of the month to really, really, really get into action if you need that timeline. But this is why those of you that are really working for that free ticket challenge, which I really encourage you guys, that's $1,000 ticket. Okay. That is $1,000. You get to eat with us and do the things and get the cool thing and all the things, drink the cool water. You get all the things. That's really, really, it's really incredible. But what this does, I went to a Tony Robbins workshop last year, and he said something I will never forget. There's about 10,000 people there, and the people in the back, he said, you people in the back, those of you in the back, never, ever, ever again will you sit in the back. I want you to make a commitment to yourself today that you are worth these seats in the front. You will do everything in your power to get to these seats in the front. And that the income that it takes to get into these seats in the front is the investment in yourself and that you're worth it. And I want you to remember that, because your business and who you are and being invested in yourself, you all belong in the front. And there's a lot that comes with that. And I really want you to consider, if you are considering buying a VIP ticket, really consider those things. And those of you running for the giveaway ticket, remember the reason I made the first $100 cash giveaway for the ambassador enrollments for the beginning of the month. Okay. It's a total the whole month up until the 20th of both customers and ambassadors. But the reason the first giveaway is ambassadors is because I want you to get those ambassadors in place now and help those ambassadors get some customers so that their care and share next month, maybe even their two, so that they can get entered into the contest too. You can get them to conference, you can get them to catch the vision, and you can get them running huge with the really cool stuff that's coming in this space and this space. You want them there. You want them to touch and feel and see and do. You want them there. I'm telling you this. You don't want them to miss this. So that's why I want you to get them in place so that they can already get running. And God forbid there's a tie. Guess what? The person with an ambassador that signed an ambassador the first of the month, and that ambassador already has 6 customers, that ambassador is new. That's new volume. That person wins over the person that has 3 ambassadors. Okay? Does that make sense to everyone? Because it's overall volume. All right. So I think that's it. Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay. Is there any questions? If anyone wants to unmute themselves, you can unmute themselves and ask a question before we jump off. I'll give it like a second. But you guys are going to start to see more. I'll post the vision post. I'm going to also post as soon as I get. So you guys, leadership success, please be patient with them right now. Please, please, please. Bailey is about to have her baby. So Jackie has everyone right now, and they're pulling all the stuff for convention. And they have a lot on their plate. Poor Jackie said she needed a good cry and a massage today. So please, 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 if you ask me for something from them, just please give me a minute. Again, rank advancements, care and share, it's all coming, but they have to pull all the stuff for conference first. So yes, Jackie, I'm telling you guys, is an angel. I'm going to be doing a collection for her for convention. I will also do a post for that. Anybody that wants to help contribute to a gift for her, I got her something, but I love to put some gift cards in there for her because she's just so amazing what she does for us. You guys, those of you who've worked with her know, but she really is an angel, and she works with us until month's end, 1 a.m., no matter what. So anyway, any questions? If you're not going to mute yourself, then I will post this recording, and you guys are amazing. Thursdays, first Thursday of the month. I'm so excited for what we're going to do this month. We are running hard into conference. Make sure you're all on Marielle's call on Monday. From now on, her Monday calls are going to be have a topic. This Monday's topic, she said, is 3-way calls, 3-way messaging. So I want you all on that, so don't miss it. And those of you who need a launch, we will see you on Saturday morning. Okay? All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later.